Stanley Cup Finals, Saturday. Edmonton Oilers playing the Florida Panthers, and really a story of two completely different styles of hockey. It's going to be an exciting series. Edmonton with their lights out speed, Florida with their defensive ability and ability to really shut down the middle. This entire series is going to come down to which team can dictate the pace. But for game one, I'm looking at the Edmonton Oilers here. Uh, from my perspective, this Edmonton Oilers team has played Florida already, albeit the Dallas Stars are not as good as the Florida Panthers, but they play a very, very similar style of hockey. They're slow, they're heavy. They like to clog the middle and try slow the attack. It didn't work. Edmonton played Vegas, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Vegas couldn't shut them down, and the LA Kings, which were one of the best defensive teams in the league as well, and also a team that plays a similar style of hockey to the Florida Panthers, couldn't shut them down either. Now, I'm not suggesting that Florida can't beat Edmonton in this series. I'm just saying that game one, Florida coming off of a slow series against the New York Rangers and a slow series against Boston, are going to wake up and say, holy crap, they're fast. I think Edmonton's speed is going to shock them in game one. I think they're going to be waves and waves of offense coming at them from this Edmonton hockey team, and I just don't think Florida will be ready. I do think they will make adjustments, and I think they will learn to slow up this Edmonton Oilers team, and we are going to have a 7-game series. But in game one, speed alone, I like the Edmonton Oilers.
There's a stigma that comes, or something that comes with the Edmonton Oilers, that people always think they're a run and gun team. They're a team that in the playoffs falter because their goaltending falls apart. This is a different team under Chris Knobloch. This is a team that during the regular season, after he took over from January 1st to the end of the season, he went 31. They went 31-12-5. 43-16-6 record if you factor in the playoffs. I really wish the coach of the year, because I had Knobloch to win coach of the year at I think 25 or 30 to 1. I really wish they made those decisions based on a team's full season and not just the regular season, because obviously he had a shorter season and they gave it to Vancouver's coach. But Prez, you look at this and Edmonton's a completely different team now. You look at in the 3 series they've had so far, they limited LA in the opening round to 29 shots on goal. Then the Vancouver Canucks to 21 shots on goal per game. And the Dallas Stars in this series, 26 shots on goal per game. Skinner's playing extremely well. You look at Stuart Skinner in this series against Dallas, the series that just finished, and we talk about the goaltending being the Edmonton's weak point. Well, 1.91 goals against average for Stuart Skinner with a .923 save percentage. If you go back to the last 2 games against Vancouver, when they came back from down 3 games to 2, he is 6-2 with a 181 goals against average, .920 save percentage. And it's because they're doing a fantastic job of collapsing in front of the net, not giving teams rebounds, tying up guys, and getting it out. And then they let their offense counter. And when you got guys like Draisaitl, McDavid on that team, you're going to get some goals from this team. You look at specialty teams, Edmonton, number 1 in power play, 37.3 percentage. Unbelievable. Penalty killing, number 1, 28 or 29 straight penalty kills, 93.9. Florida's not that bad themselves. 23.2 on the power play, which is ranks number 6 in the playoffs, and number 2 in penalty killing at 88.2%. I get it. The Stanley Cup hasn't come north of the border for 30 plus years, but this is as far as series price goes, I'm taking the plus money with the Oilers because I like them in game 1. I think they win game 1 in Florida. I think they have a lot of momentum behind them as well too. And the one big thing, Prez, is in this series is when you look at Florida at this point, every team has film on each other. They know each other. We watch it. We know what is going on. Florida did a great job in their series against the Rangers with Forsling. He absolutely tied up Panarin, took one of their best players completely off the ice by tying him up in the neutral zone. The minute he got the puck on his stick, Forsling was on him. And I don't think you can do that to McDavid. McDavid has
No
so much
chance.
speed, much more than Panarin does, and generates it through his own end and through the neutral zone. That for Forsling to try and stop him, they're going to pick up penalties, and then we just revert back to 37.3 on the power play for the Edmonton Oilers. They buried Dallas yesterday with 2 early power play goals and didn't have to do anything after that. And they did it the game previous as well too. Their power play is coming after a short stint of 5 games without a power play goal, 4 in the last couple of games. I get it. This is a very good Florida team. I've liked them all season long, but this Edmonton is gaining momentum, and you can draw a line through the goaltending part of it because that's always been the big negative against the Edmonton Oilers. You can't look at it now. Stuart Skinner's playing extremely well. You may not think he's better than Bobrovsky, but in the last series, people thought Ottinger was the better goalie. Edmonton still won that series 4-2. So I'm going with the better team here offensively in a series where goals might be at a premium in this one, Lawrence. But I really like the Oilers in game 1 and to win the series. Because if they win game 1, if you like Florida to win the series, just wait till after game 1. Because if they were to lose game 1, you're going to get plus money on them instead of having to lay $1.30.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big if, though. Listen, I like your handicap, and I think you're right. And I want to add to it by saying that, Florida just beat the New York Rangers, and before that, the Boston Bruins, and before that, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't think Florida has seen the speed that is about to come at them. The New York Rangers is a heavy team, a grinding team. They play a similar style to Dallas and Florida. They're a team that clogs up the middle, likes to keep everything on the inside, likes to slow pace in the neutral zone. Boston Bruins are exactly the same way. They emulate the New York Rangers in that sense. They're a heavy team, not dynamic. None of the Rangers or Boston are puck possession teams. They're teams that counterattack. Florida's a counterattack team as well. And I think we have a situation here where you're right about game 1. And I think it's going to take at least one game for Florida to really say, oh my God, how are we going to adjust to the speed? I don't think they've seen anything like it all year. I think you made a great point. Handicap was excellent. Carmine Bianco likes Edmonton in the series and Edmonton in game 1.
We finally get game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers on Saturday night. And we have a couple of money-making opportunities, one in game 1 and one for the series. My name is Steve Seagrave from Sportsmemo.com. I also have a special offer to share with you guys at the end of a video that we're running over at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo. But for now, if you guys could do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comment section who do you guys like in this game or for the entire Cup Finals for that matter, whether it be a side, a total, a player prop. We'd love to hear from you. I'll be checking the comments and responding back to you guys leading up to the game. So looking at game 1, puck drops 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers. Both teams bouncing back from 2-1 deficits in the conference finals, both winning 3 straight games to advance. And you look at the head-to-head between these teams, Florida wins the head-to-head 2-0, winning 5-1 and 5-3. But that was before the Oilers really caught fire this year. Those games were right around the time of the coaching change before this team really gelled and really hit their stride heading into the postseason and throughout the postseason. And the first thing we'll be looking at here is Game 1's under of 5.5. You can get it at negative 102 right now. Over at DK, we've seen plenty of low-scoring conservative games throughout the postseason in the NHL, especially in the past couple of series. Teams, they don't want to make that big mistake. They're kind of feeling each other out early and, playing conservative hockey early on, especially in the first game of the series especially. I could see that. We've had 2 goaltenders here that are both on fire right now. Stuart Skinner, he's allowed 2 goals or less in 8 of his last 9 games. That's since he had that little reset in against Vancouver, where Picard took over for a couple of games. He was scuffling a little bit. Since that point, Stewart has been lights out, and Bobrovsky's been even better. He's allowed 2 or less in 10 of his last 11 games. And no surprise here, over the last 10 games, Florida 2-8 to the under, Edmonton 2-7-1 to the under. So they've both been under teams for their last 10 games. Florida in the postseason allowing only 2.19 goals per game. Edmonton only allowing 2.61. We know Florida has a strong defense. Edmonton has really picked up defensively as well. And their penalty kill is lights out. Their special teams in general, but the penalty kill for Edmonton's been number one. And so we're going to be looking at the under 5.5 for game one. As far as the series play here, I'm taking the plus money with Edmonton, plus 115 odds at DK. Now this is a client play for me over at Sportsmemo.com. Edmonton number one in special teams. We just mentioned the penalty kill, but they're also number one in the postseason on the power play. They've been lights out in both categories. They're on the road, and that's part of the reason why they're underdogs, but they haven't really been bothered by playing on the road. 6-3 in the postseason on the road. McDavid and Draisaitl, I just think that this is the type of speed that Florida hasn't seen yet. I don't think they can contain these two. I don't think they're going to be denied. This is their first shot at the Cup. And I really think that they steal home ice here, at least win one of these first two games, and they snatch away the home ice advantage from Florida. I also look at it, and Skinner, the goaltending was supposed to be the weakness for the Oilers, and he's been lights out. He's been really strong. So I'm looking at Oilers here for the series with plus money. I don't think they're going to be denied. It's going to be the first time we see the Cup get back into Canada's hands in a long time. But for game one, let's go under 5.5 with some nice only negative 102 on that. Guys, let's finish off June with a bang. We have a great deal here over at sportsmemo.com. You get the rest of June, all access, all sports, includes 5% plays, only $177. If you were to get it today, it's a little bit more than $7 per day. You get all my sports that I'm covering. It'll take you right through the end of the month for the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, also in action for the MLB and WNBA. I'll have my 4% NHL best bet locked and loaded at sportsmemo.com for you guys. And that's the advantage of getting a long-term pass, is that you would get that Edmonton Oilers play that I shared with you for the series at plus money. You would get that as part of the client package if you got the all access over at sportsmemo.com. So really consider that long-term pass. Only $7 a day. It's really a great deal. It's about the best deal you're going to get over at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo. There'll be a link for that attached to the video. Enjoy the Cup, guys. Good luck. Hit the like button on the way out. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think about my plays and who do you guys like in this game.